Ms. Hughes?
Good evening. Yes, thank you. I'm sure you have mixed feelings about me being the last one. First of all, I want to thank all of you for putting in the time and energy to figure this out. It's much appreciated. And I want you to know your role in our kids' lives are as essential as their teachers. And yes, going back to school is going to take a lot of work and meetings and planning, especially to get the teachers back, but it must be done. We're in the midst of a crisis, and we are out of time. A crisis that holds the future of our community's kids in your hands. Students are slipping, they're failing, and they're leaving daily. The district has lost almost 1,000 students in the last couple of weeks, with numbers increasing every week. And this will result in teachers being laid off. I know this is not news to you. This will force even more women out of the workplace, and this to me is unacceptable. Meanwhile, private schools are maxed out and thriving compared to the district's public schools. Even other districts are back face-to-face 5 days a week. Look at them, talk to them, model after them, Forsyth County, Paulding County, Richmond Hill, and many more across the state of Georgia. And since switching my kids to private, they are much happier to be at school, learning and socializing and living a normal life. We've been there for 3 weeks with 5 days a week in person and no known cases of COVID. Yesterday, I watched the mayor and chief of police press conference on rising crime and gun violence in Savannah. And one thing the police chief said that struck me was, quote, "We have to get these kids interested in other things so they don't turn to crime." I agree with him, he's right. Yet you still limit access to school and the mayor shuts down sports in city parks. These are the two major things that will steer our kids in the right direction, a direction towards achievement, purpose, literacy, and success. When some of these kids fail out or drop out and then move to a life of crime, it's going to be due to the decisions of the school board right here and right now. I know that this is not without risk. You can't step out of the door without risk. But I believe that most people have an innate courage within them when they are empowered and encouraged. So I say to those, especially those who speak from the podium of our common faith, faith and fear cannot coexist. On September 9th, I presented the board with critical questions that were thoughtfully put together by a team of parents, community members, and professionals. We asked you to provide those answers within a week, yet it took almost a month. We know if it weren't for the cries of parents, Chatham County school system would remain virtual indefinitely. So let's just call a spade a spade. For the majority of people, virtual learning is not working. The decision to keep kids out of school is drawing a hard line between the haves and the have-nots. I know there's no easy answer here, but keeping kids out of the classroom is not it. We were told by 3 board members that the decision to begin the 2021 school year with a virtual learning start date of August 19th was a decision made solely by the superintendent without a vote from the board. And it wasn't until parents made their voices heard that you voted 8-1 to return to the phase-in approach, or with the phase-in approach. And now the claim is that the board's decision was it from the get-go. I don't know, no one knows. We still don't know the truth. But I'd like to go back to those questions that I asked you. So the first question was about training. What training did teachers receive for virtual schooling? Please detail the timeline, content, and participation rates. You proceeded to explain your 3 tiers of teachers, and each tier required a different amount of training. You identified 570 teachers in Tier 1, which became the priority group. But with over 2,500 teachers in the district, was this an adequate amount of time, and did enough teachers get the proper amount of training? We don't think so, because according to reports, some staff are still not able to log in to the It's Learning platform. It's been 8 weeks since training. Other staff reports that the platform It's Learning has numerous glitches throughout the day. It's confusing for the parents, forcing teachers to go use other platforms such as Google Classroom and Seesaw and Zoom. So a little while ago you mentioned you can't accommodate over 49% of the students due to staff shortages, especially a large number of special needs. We've heard from multiple staff members that there was the fear of losing their position at that particular school. There's uncertainty as to how the in-person model will be executed, and confusion with the logistics of this ridiculous 2-day hybrid model. You're defending a virtual decision based on data from one source, the Coastal Health source, and the green zone won't be realistic until sophomores or seniors if they make it to that point. We believe the surveys are skewed. So as much as I'd like to go through each of the answers, I don't have time since I'm only allotted 5 minutes. So I'd like to discuss a very important topic, and that's our tax dollars. My question to you was, of the $10,929,786 from the CARES Act, how much went towards virtual school platform It's Learning? Please break it down in detail. And how much is left? Your answer, 0. On September 16th, you explained only $4,406,839 of the CARE Act operations budget. Board members, we need to know where the other $6,522,947 are. On top of that, according to school board members in your records, there is no final amount for the It's Learning purchase. As taxpayers who this year provided you with $279,512,847, we deserve and demand transparency. Please explain the rest of the CARES Act funds and the cost of this virtual platform, It's Learning. We look forward to your answers. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.